This is 24-second Shot Clock Sports. When the buzzer sounds, Mike goes dead. Start the clock.
Los Angeles Police Department officers are reportedly moving homeless people out of the vicinity of SoFi Stadium ahead of the Super Bowl. They did have to apologize after mistaking Aaron Rodgers for one of them. Tom Brady may have played his last game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Whoever his replacement is will have some pretty big Ugg boots to fill. The Baseball Hall of Fame will announce their new class today. Here's my question.
Social media gave everyone a voice. Wouldn't it be better if some people had laryngitis? It's the wisdom of Twitter. The most amazing tweets of the week. Twitter handles have been changed to protect the stupid. On Rock 107.
Type-O-rific says, honestly, the loss of computer literacy thanks to overly user-friendly devices makes me sad. I'm buying my kid a computer as soon as he comes out of the womb. Trust the Science 25 asks, if dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, then why is the Earth only 2,022 years old? It's basic geology, writes, can't take it anymore. Goodbye, PA. Hello, Pittsburgh.
The wisdom of Twitter.
I got me a plan says, deleted my dating apps. I'm just going to shake my butt at Barnes & Noble to find my soulmate. Gets it eventually tweets, I just spent 5 minutes trying to figure out which planet in our solar system starts with the letter E, only to remember it was Earth. So close writes, do people not understand that basketball has two sides, offense and defense? But I digest.
The wisdom of Twitter.
Great at math says people born in 2003 are now 23. That's crazy. What are Mittens says, when is someone going to invent socks for our hands? My hands are always freezing. And the best driver writes, just finished sanding my tires so that my car will ride smoother on the interstate. Honestly, I kind of love this baby smooth look.
The wisdom of Twitter.
On Rock 107.
So you go to the Miller Kaplan Blood Center by Walmart in Pittston and you get a snack after you donate. And that's great. But if that's not enough of a snack, here's some good news. Krispy Kreme is giving anyone who donates blood this week a dozen donuts for free. Just show up with a donation sticker or something to prove you gave blood. The promotion runs through next Monday.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector. On Rock 107.
Trying to find out if I'm a jerk. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and I've been through this situation before. Back in 2018, the Rams made the Super Bowl, and I'm like, yeah, my wife, you can't be at the house. Well, now the Rams are hosting the NFC Championship this Sunday against a team I hate so much. So I've told my wife, you can't be here. You need to leave during the game. All right, the Rams taking on the Niners, you can't be around. Look, I act like an idiot during any Rams game. When they play the Niners, it gets worse. I hate San Francisco more than I hate any other team in professional sports, more than anybody has the right to hate anything, okay? The level of anger I have towards them is completely unreasonable, and I realize that, but I have it. So I'm going to be loud and angry and obnoxious, and I don't want my wife to have to be around that, and I also don't want her yelling at me to stop and to grow up and act like a grown-up. So I told Tara, I'm like, just don't be here when the Rams host the Niners Sunday night. Go stay with your kid, maybe go out with your sister, just do something. Does that make me a jerk? That's what I want to know this morning. Russ on Facebook.com/AngryProspector says, sounds like you're trying to save her some grief and a headache. Good for you. You're not a jerk. Out of the rock lines, am I a jerk?
I don't think you're a jerk. I'm sure she's used to you by now.
Oh, she's definitely used to me by now, but this is a whole different level. Don says, yeah, you're a jerk. If she leaves, she may not come back. Then you'll really look like a jerk. That's true. Amy says if the sole reason for telling her to leave is because you don't want her to see you act crazy, then the real question is, does she support your crazy? If she doesn't care how you'll be acting, then you're a jerk and she should stay home. All right. Am I a jerk? Onto the rock lines we go. Rock 107.
I really think that's a jerk move, Prospector. I mean, it's a great idea if you feel like sleeping on the couch for a month and a half. But
so you're saying what I get out of it is not worth the trouble I'm going to get for it?
yeah.
All right, good to know there. Donald says, yes, you go someplace. That's how it should be. Luann says, a little. I'm sure she's used to you by now, but you could always buy her a hotel night with a spa package. It's not a bad idea. Do a little something for her for being nice enough to do this for me, right? Am I a jerk for kicking my wife out of the house in advance of Sunday night's NFC championship game with the Rams and Niners? What do you think? Out of the rock lines, Rock 107.
How about about if I say a half a ram's horn?
So, not a jerk, but a half a ram horn?
I'm sure if you have a big house, you could find another TV.
She could, and so could I, but you don't know how stupidly loud, angry, and idiotic I will behave. And I realize this is a me thing, but if I go in public, I might get arrested. Am I a jerk? Nick says, no, you're not a jerk for that, but maybe send her some flowers later in the week to soften the blow of the temporary eviction. And the question today of, am I a jerk for telling my wife she's got to leave the house, vacate the premises, so I can act like a complete moron and scream like an idiot watching the Rams-Niners game on Sunday night? The answer, according to you, Northeast PA, just barely, yes, I am a jerk.
Breather or Cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
We've seen a million stories about grandparents getting scammed out of money, so it's really satisfying to see someone turn the tables like this. A 73-year-old Long Island woman got a call last Thursday that was supposedly from her grandson. Now, she doesn't want her full name released, but her first name is Gene. And the guy on the phone claimed to be her grandson, said he needed money for bail because he'd been arrested for drunk driving. The thing is, though, Gene doesn't have a grandson old enough to drive, so she knew it was a scam, but she decided to play along. After a few more calls back and forth, she talked to someone claiming to be her son's lawyer, who said he needed $8,000 to bail him out, and someone who claimed to be a bail bondsman told her he'd come pick the money up. But during all of this, Gene was also on the phone with the police, and they set up a sting operation. When the guys showed up, they were hiding inside. She handed him an envelope stuffed with paper towels, and once he walked off with it, they ran out the door and tackled him on her front lawn. The scammer's name is Joshua Gomez, and he's 28 years old. It's not clear if he's pretending to be all the people she spoke to, or if he was working with other people, but he's now facing charges for attempted grand larceny.
Nominee number 2.
We've seen so many stories about idiot plane passengers. You got to do something really special to stand out. Like this. A 29-year-old Irish guy is facing charges after he refused to keep his mask on during a flight from Ireland to New York this month, and then mooned a flight attendant. His name is Shane McInerney. He was flying Delta first class on January 7th and had to be told dozens of times to keep his mask on during the 8-hour trip. He also kept kicking the seat in front of him and threw an empty can at a passenger's head. While they were serving dinner, he got up from his seat to complain about the food, pulled his pants down and his underwear, and mooned a flight attendant along with several passengers. The pilot came out to talk to him at one point, and during that exchange, Shane put his own hat on the pilot's head for some reason, then threatened to beat him up. No word on whether he'd been drinking or not. The flight almost got diverted to another airport, but did end up landing in New York. During a final approach, Shane refused to stay in his seat. It turns out he was on his way to Florida to start a new gig as a soccer coach in Daytona Beach. It's not clear if he still has that job or not, but he's facing up to 20 years in jail for interfering with a flight crew, which is a felony.
And the winner is...
Not the one I would have picked, but that's why we let you decide. The passenger who mooned a flight attendant after refusing to wear a mask. You are the Yam Bag of the Day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yam Bag of the Week competition. Stay tuned for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings right here on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.